Your palms went damp the second they said your name. Your heart started tapping against your ribs like it wanted out. You rehearsed a sentence in your head, then forgot it the moment their eyes met yours. You smiled a little too wide, a little too late. You heard your own voice come out thinner than you wanted. And somewhere inside, a quiet part of you whispered, "Please don't let me be weird." That whisper is the reason you clicked on this. Not because you're broken, and not because you're bad with people, but because talking to someone new can feel like standing in front of a spotlight you never asked for. Here's the truth I want you to hold on to tonight. Nervousness is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's a sign that this conversation matters to you. And by the end of the next few minutes, you'll know exactly how to work with that feeling instead of fighting it. You'll walk into your next conversation lighter, warmer, and far more like yourself. Let's start with the shift almost no one talks about. Most people believe the goal of a conversation is to be interesting. So they scan their brain for a clever line, a witty story, a perfect thing to say. That pressure is exactly what makes your throat tighten and your mind go blank. Because the moment you're trying to perform, you stop being present. Here's the simple shift that changes everything. You don't need to be interesting. You need to be interested. The most magnetic people you've ever met were not the smartest in the room. They were the ones who made you feel like you were the most interesting person in the room. That is a skill, and it's a skill you already have inside you. We just need to unlock it, one small habit at a time. Before we go further, take one slow breath with me. In through the nose, out through the mouth, just a little longer on the exhale. That exhale is a signal to your nervous system that you are safe. Because nervousness in conversation isn't really about the person in front of you. It's about your body treating a chat like a threat. We can teach it a new response, and it starts with what I'll show you next. The first move is what I call the 2-second landing. Before you speak, let your feet land, your shoulders drop, and your eyes soften. It sounds tiny, but it does something powerful inside you. It tells your brain, I'm not being chased. I'm just meeting a person. Try it the next time you walk up to someone new. 2 seconds of landing before your first word. That's it. You'll be surprised how much steadier your voice sounds when your body arrives first. Now let's talk about the story you're telling yourself before the conversation even starts. Most nervous people walk into a room believing everyone is judging them. But here's a warm little secret about human beings. Most people are so busy worrying about how they come across that they barely notice you at all. That isn't an insult, it's a relief. The spotlight you feel on you is mostly imagined. And the moment you realize that, your shoulders drop about 2 inches on their own. So try replacing, "What will they think of me?" with a softer question. What's it like to be them right now? That single question pulls you out of your own head and drops you into curiosity. And curiosity is the natural enemy of nervousness. You literally cannot be deeply curious and deeply self-conscious at the same time. Your brain can only hold one of those at a time. Choose curiosity and the fear quietly steps back. Here's a small tactic you can use in your very next conversation. Pick one thing about the person to be genuinely curious about before you speak. Their smile, their jacket, the way they said hello, anything real? Then let your first sentence come from that place, not from a script. That's a great jacket. Where'd you find it? Beats any rehearsed opener you could invent. Because it's warm, it's specific, and most importantly, it's true. People can feel the difference between a line and a real moment. They may not name it, but their body knows, and their body relaxes when yours does. Now let's handle the part everyone dreads, the silence. Most people panic in silence because they treat it like an emergency. But silence in a conversation is not failure, it's just space. The most confident people you've ever met are the ones who don't rush to fill it. They let a pause breathe, and it makes every word around it feel more meaningful. Try this next time you feel a pause coming. Don't fight it. Count 1, 2, 3 in your head and smile softly. 9 times out of 10, the other person will speak before you get to 3. And even if they don't, that little pause makes you look calm, grounded, and safe to be around. That's charisma, not fireworks, just steadiness. Let's zoom in on your body for a moment because it's doing more talking than you think. When you're nervous, your body tends to shrink. Shoulders curl in, chin dips down, hands hide, voice thins out. The other person doesn't consciously see it, but their nervous system reads it in a heartbeat. And here's the tricky part. Your body language doesn't just show your feelings. It shapes them too. If you stand a little taller, breathe a little slower, and let your hands stay visible, your brain gets a message. We're safe. We can be here. You don't have to fake confidence. You just have to give your body permission to hold it. Now here's something almost no one uses, and it's a quiet game changer. Match the other person's energy, just a touch below it. If they're bubbly, be warm. If they're calm, be steady. If they're soft-spoken, don't blast them with volume. This isn't mimicking. It's meeting them where they are. It tells them, without a word, you're safe with me. And when people feel safe with you, they open up. When they open up, the conversation flows on its own. You stop working so hard. You start actually enjoying it. Let's talk about a mistake that quietly kills more conversations than any other. Waiting for your turn to speak instead of actually listening. You know the feeling. They're talking, but you're rehearsing your next line in your head. You miss half of what they said, and the whole thing feels stiff. Here's the fix, and it's simpler than you think. Listen to understand, not to reply. Let their words actually land before you plan yours. You'll find that your response comes to you naturally, and it fits like a key in a lock. That's when conversations start to feel effortless instead of exhausting. And that ease is what people are really drawn to. If any of this is landing for you, I want you to know something. You are not the awkward one. You are the caring one. You get nervous because you care about the moment, about the person, about doing this well. That care, once you stop hiding it, is the most attractive thing about you. We're going to turn that care into confidence, one small habit at a time. Now let's talk about the opener, because that's where most nerves live. The first 10 seconds of a conversation carry more weight than the next 10 minutes. Not because you have to nail them, but because they set the emotional tone. So keep your opener stupidly simple. Try, hey, I don't think we've met, I'm... Warm smile, steady eyes, hand relaxed at your side. That's it. No cleverness required. Most people are secretly relieved when someone else breaks the ice with kindness instead of a joke. Because a joke can miss, kindness never does. Once you've said hello, ask one small, easy question that isn't, what do you do? Try something lighter, like, how do you know the host? Or, how's your day been? Small questions open small doors, and small doors are all you need. Because behind every small door is a bigger conversation waiting to happen. You don't have to force depth. You just have to walk through the door they open. And when they answer, don't rush to your next question. Instead, do something almost no one does anymore. Reflect what they said back to them in one warm line. So you two go way back, that's really cool. That one line tells them, I heard you. I was actually here. You just made them feel seen and you barely said anything. That's the whole secret. That's the whole game. Now here's a reframe that will save you in every conversation from here on out. Your job in a conversation is not to impress, it's to include. Impressing puts a wall up. Including pulls a chair out. The moment you stop trying to win the room, you start warming it. And when the room feels warm, guess who people remember? The person who made them feel like they belonged. That person can be you tonight. It really can. Let's talk about what to do when your mind actually does go blank. Because it will, and it's okay. Instead of panicking, do this quiet little move. Ask them to tell you more about the last thing they said. You mentioned you just moved here. What's that been like? You just bought yourself 30 seconds of thinking time. And better than that, you gave them the gift of being asked. People rarely get asked. When you ask, you glow. Now here's a small thing that separates likable people from everyone else. They notice details and they mention them later. If they told you their dog's name earlier, use it near the end of the chat. Hope Milo behaves for you tonight. That single moment lands in someone's chest and stays there for weeks. You didn't have to be clever, you just had to be paying attention. Attention is the rarest currency in the world right now. And you get to spend it on the person in front of you. Let's take another gentle breath together before the last stretch. In through the nose, out slow through the mouth. Feel your shoulders drop just a little. You're doing something brave right now, choosing to grow in an area most people avoid. That already puts you ahead of almost everyone. Now let's tie this all together with one more idea, and it's the one I hope stays with you. Nervousness fades when you stop pointing the flashlight at yourself. Every technique we talked about tonight, from the 2-second landing to reflecting their words, does one thing. It turns the flashlight around. It points the warmth outward, at them, at the moment, at the connection you're building. And the strange, beautiful thing is this. The more you shine your light on other people, the more they end up seeing you. Not the polished version, not the rehearsed version, but the real one. And the real you is more than enough. If you felt awkward or invisible in social moments before, tell me your story in the comments below. You're really not alone in this, and this little corner of the internet is a soft place to land. I read every one of them. Let me leave you with a small challenge before you go. In the next 24 hours, have one short conversation using just one thing from tonight. Not all of it, just one. Maybe the 2-second landing, maybe reflecting their words, maybe asking a small curious question. That's it, one conversation, one shift. Because charisma isn't built in a weekend, it's built in tiny, brave moments. And each one makes the next one a little easier. You are not too quiet. You are not too awkward. You are not too much or too little. You are someone who cares about people, and that is a rare and beautiful thing. Nervousness is just the price of caring. Skill is what turns that care into connection. You now have the skills. All that's left is one small conversation to prove it to yourself. If this helped you feel a little more hopeful about the next room you walk into, do me a small favor. Hit that subscribe button so we can keep growing together, one warm conversation at a time. Leave a like if any part of this landed, because it genuinely helps the channel reach the quiet ones who need it most. And I'll see you in the next one, my friend. Take care of yourself out there. The world needs your warmth.